Captain Ahmed Hassan had spent 30 years fighting wars, but nothing prepared him for the moment he would dig through rubble with his bare hands, searching for his children's voices in the silence. In 10 seconds, the man who chose peace over war would become something far more dangerous than any soldier. Captain Ahmed Hassan's weathered hands, marked by 30 years of military service, carefully tend to his small olive grove outside Gaza City. These same hands once gripped an AK-47 during the First Intifada, fought in countless skirmishes defending Palestinian territory. Now, at 55, he's been retired for 5 years, trying to build a peaceful life with his family. The grove belonged to his grandfather, passed down through generations. Ahmed returned here after his military retirement, hoping to leave the violence behind. His wife Layla, a schoolteacher, supported his decision completely. The children need their father alive, not a hero, she would say, watching their 3 children, Omar, 15, Fatima, 12, and little Samir, 8, play among the olive trees. Ahmed's daily routine is simple: tend the trees in the morning, help Layla with household work, teach Omar about farming. The family lives in a modest stone house his grandfather built, surrounded by the olive grove that provides their modest income. "Baba, when will the trees give us more olives?" asks Samir, climbing onto Ahmed's lap as they sit under the shade. "Patience, my son. The best things in life take time to grow." Ahmed often tells his children stories about the old days, but never about war. He talks about his grandfather's wisdom, about the land's history, about hope for peace. He's determined to give them a childhood he never had. But lately, tensions have been rising again. Israeli settlements expanding nearby, water restrictions tightening, young men in the village talking about resistance. Ahmed stays away from these conversations. He's seen enough war for several lifetimes. "Ahmed, the neighbors are organizing again," Layla tells him one evening. "They want experienced fighters. My fighting days are over, Hababti. I have more important battles now, raising our children, keeping this land alive." Layla smiles, touching his graying beard. "This is why I married you. You know when to fight and when to build." The morning of October 15th, 2023, starts like any other. Ahmed wakes for dawn prayer, checks on the olive trees, prepares breakfast while Layla gets the children ready for school. The routine has become sacred to him, this peaceful rhythm he never thought possible during his fighting years. Omar helps his father with the irrigation system they installed last year. "Baba, Hassan's father says there will be more fighting soon. Is that true?" Ahmed pauses, considering his words carefully. "Son, there's always talk of fighting, but our job is to make things grow, not destroy them." At noon, the first missiles streak across the sky. Ahmed recognizes the sound immediately. His body's muscle memory from decades of conflict kicks in instantly. But these aren't the small rockets he's used to. These are massive bombardments, systematic and overwhelming. "Layla, children, get to the shelter," he shouts. But even as he speaks, he knows their small family shelter won't protect against this level of attack. The Israeli response is swift and devastating. Ahmed watches in horror as entire city blocks disappear under clouds of dust and fire. This isn't targeted military action. This is total warfare. His neighbor Abu Mahmoud runs over, panic in his eyes. "Ahmed, they're hitting everything. Schools, hospitals, residential areas. This is different from before." Ahmed's military mind automatically starts analyzing the situation. Attack patterns, safe routes, civilian casualties. But this time, he's not a soldier. He's a father trying to protect his family. The bombardment continues for 3 days. Ahmed keeps his family in their reinforced basement, rationing water and food. The children are terrified but trust their father completely. Layla organizes activities to keep them calm. Stories, quiet games, prayers. "Baba, why are they attacking us?" Fatima asks, holding her little brother. "Sometimes, Habibti, people forget that we're all human. They see enemies instead of families." On the 4th day, Ahmed ventures out to assess the damage and find supplies. The destruction is beyond anything he witnessed during his active service. Entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble, families searching desperately for relatives, medical teams overwhelmed. He manages to find bread and medicine, trading some of his stored olive oil. On his way back, he meets Dr. Sarah, who runs the local clinic. "Ahmed, thank God you're alive. We need help organizing evacuations. The children's hospital was hit. We're moving patients to the mosque." "Doctor, I'm retired. I have my own family to protect. I understand, but people know you. They trust your judgment. We need someone with your experience to coordinate safe passage." Ahmed wrestles with the decision. His instinct is to help, but his priority is his own family's safety. When he returns home, Layla immediately sees his internal struggle. What did you see out there? It's bad, Layla. Worse than anything before. Dr. Sarah wants me to help with evacuations. And what do you want to do? I want to keep you and the children safe, but I also can't ignore what's happening to our neighbors. They decide to help organize the mosque as a temporary shelter while keeping their family together. Ahmed uses his military knowledge to establish security protocols and evacuation routes. His reputation brings dozens of families seeking guidance. Omar helps translate for foreign journalists, documenting the crisis. Fatima assists Layla in caring for injured children. Even little Samir helps distribute water. The family works together, turning their personal crisis into community service. Baba, look how many people we're helping, Omar says proudly. Yes, son, this is real fighting. Fighting for life, not death. For 2 weeks, their system works. The mosque becomes a beacon of hope, with Ahmed's leadership providing structure and safety for over 200 displaced families. International aid organizations begin coordinating through their improvised command center. Ahmed begins to believe they might survive this crisis intact, that his decision to choose building over destroying was correct. October 30th, 3:47 a.m. Ahmed wakes to the sound he's learned to fear most, the high-pitched whistle of incoming artillery, but closer than ever before. He has maybe 10 seconds. Layla, kids, down, he screams, but the explosion comes too fast. The shell hits their house directly. In the basement, Ahmed is thrown against the wall, knocked unconscious by debris. When he comes to, dust fills the air so thick he can barely breathe. His ears ring, blood runs from his forehead. Layla, he calls out, his voice barely audible even to himself. Ammar, Fatna, Samir. He digs frantically through the rubble with his bare hands. First he finds Samir, his youngest, crushed under a concrete beam. The boy's small hand still clutches the toy soldier Ahmed carved for him last week. Then Fatna, his gentle daughter who wanted to be a teacher like her mother, her school books scattered around her, pages fluttering in the dust-filled air. Ammar, his eldest, who was learning to be a man, found near the entrance. He had been trying to reach his younger siblings. Finally, Layla, his beautiful wife, his anchor, the woman who convinced him that peace was possible. She lies protecting their children with her own body, even in death. Ahmed sits among the ruins of his family, holding Samir's lifeless form, and something breaks inside him that 30 years of military service never touched. The olive trees outside are burning, 4 generations of his family's heritage turning to ash. Neighbors find him 3 hours later, still holding his son, staring at nothing. Dr. Sarah tries to examine him, but Ahmed doesn't respond to medical attention. Physically, he's bruised but alive. Emotionally, the man who chose peace over war has died with his family. The funeral draws hundreds of people. Ahmed stands silent as his wife and children are laid to rest in the old cemetery next to his grandfather. People offer condolences, share memories, promise support. Ahmed hears nothing. That night, alone in the ruins of his house, Ahmed makes a decision that would have horrified the man he was just days before. He walks to his old military chest, hidden behind the olive oil storage. Inside, his service rifle, ammunition, tactical gear and maps he memorized decades ago. Abu Mahmoud finds him cleaning his weapon. Ahmed, my brother, what are you doing? They killed my family, Abu Mahmoud. They destroyed everything I built, everything I believed in. Ahmed, you always said revenge only creates more orphans. That man died with his children. This is someone else. Ahmed's transformation is complete and terrifying. The gentle farmer disappears, replaced by the hardened warrior who fought in a dozen conflicts. But this warrior carries something new, not ideology or nationalism, but pure focused grief turned into determination. He joins the local resistance cell, but his approach disturbs even veteran fighters. Ahmed doesn't seek glory or political victory. He wants to hurt those who hurt him, precisely and personally. Captain, your plan will work, but the casualties, young Hassan hesitates. The casualties are acceptable. They didn't consider my children's casualties. Ahmed's military expertise transforms the ragtag resistance group into an effective fighting force. He teaches urban warfare, explosives, tactical coordination. Within weeks, they're conducting operations that actually damage Israeli military capabilities, rather than just symbolic attacks. His first major operation targets the military base that coordinated the strike on his neighborhood. Using his knowledge of Israeli tactics and his team's local knowledge, they infiltrate and destroy key communications equipment, setting back operations for weeks. We did it, Captain. Just like you planned. Hassan celebrates. Ahmed feels nothing. No satisfaction, no relief. Only a cold calculation of damage inflicted versus damage received. Dr. Sarah tries to reach him during a chance encounter. Ahmed, this isn't who you are. Layla wouldn't want this. Layla is dead. My children are dead. The man who cared what Layla wanted is dead too. But you're still alive. You can still choose to build instead of destroy. I tried building. They destroyed it all in one night. Ahmed's operations become more sophisticated and devastating. He targets military infrastructure, supply lines, and command centers with surgical precision. His reputation spreads. The Israeli military begins specifically hunting the ghost of Gaza, the former captain turned resistance leader. But success brings consequences. Ahmed's effectiveness makes him a priority target, and the reprisals against his community intensify. The mosque that once sheltered families becomes a target. Dr. Sarah's clinic is destroyed. After a particularly successful operation against an Israeli convoy, Ahmed returns to find that reprisal strikes have killed 12 civilians, including 3 children from families he once protected. Abu Mahmoud confronts him. Ahmed, our children are dying because of your war. Children were already dying. At least now they die for a purpose. What purpose? Revenge. How many more families need to lose everything like you did? That night, Ahmed sits in the ruins of his olive grove. The trees he once tended with such care are now blackened stumps. He thinks about Samir asking when the trees would give more olives, about teaching Omar to farm, about Lila's dreams for their children. Hassan approaches cautiously. Captain, the next operation is ready. We can strike their main depot. Ahmed looks at the young man, barely older than Omar would have been. Hassan has skills now, knowledge of warfare, ability to cause real damage. Ahmed has created another version of himself, another man who chooses destruction over building. Hassan, what did you want to be before this war? Before, I wanted to be an engineer. Build bridges, roads, make things better. And now I want to make them pay for what they did to us. Ahmed sees himself reflected in Hassan's angry eyes, and for the first time since the night his family died, he feels something other than cold rage. He feels horror at what he's become, what he's created. The next morning, Ahmed makes his final military decision. He gathers his team for what he tells them will be their most important operation. We're going to hit their command center, but this time it's different. We're not coming back. Captain, that's suicide. Why? Because this ends with me. You all have families, futures, lives to build. I don't. Hassan protests. But Captain, we need you. You're the only one who knows how to really hurt them. That's exactly why this has to end. I'm teaching you to destroy when you should be learning to build. Ahmed's final operation is devastatingly effective. He infiltrates the regional command center alone, destroying communications, intelligence files, and operational planning materials. The damage sets back Israeli operations for months. But as planned, Ahmed doesn't survive. Surrounded in the command center, he makes his last stand, ensuring maximum damage while giving his team time to escape. Hassan finds Ahmed's final letter, left at their safe house. To my brothers in arms, the man who taught you to fight died with his family. I've been a ghost seeking revenge, but ghosts cannot build the future our children deserve. Take the skills I taught you, and use them to protect, not destroy. Build the peace I couldn't. Remember that every enemy is someone's father, someone's son. Break the cycle I couldn't escape. Hassan, last soldier of a dead dream. The resistance cell Ahmed trained survives and eventually evolves into a community protection organization, using their skills to help rebuild rather than destroy. Hassan becomes an engineer, just as he dreamed, designing water systems for refugee camps. Dr. Sarah establishes a memorial clinic named for Ahmed's family, focusing on treating children affected by conflict. Above the entrance, she places Ahmed's words, "The best things in life take time to grow." Years later, Hassan visits the ruins of Ahmed's olive grove with his own young son. Some of the trees, despite the burning, have begun to grow again from their roots. Baba, who planted these trees, his son asks. A man who chose to build instead of destroy, until he forgot how. His name was Ahmed, and he taught me that even when everything is lost, something can still grow. Ahmed Hassan died believing he had chosen destruction over creation, revenge over peace, but his final choice, to end the cycle of violence he had perpetuated, became the seed of something better. His story became a lesson that even in our darkest moments, we can choose to plant trees whose shade we will never enjoy, whose fruit will feed children we will never meet. In the end, Ahmed's greatest victory wasn't any military operation. It was teaching Hassan and others that true strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the courage to build, even after everything has been taken away. The ghost of Gaza finally found peace, not in revenge, but in ensuring that his tragedy wouldn't create more tragedies. His olive trees, growing again from scorched earth, stand as a testament to the possibility of renewal, even after the deepest loss.